very, very strong players. We've got Guastella, what a seasoned veteran.
FIFA Interactive World Cup finalist. So he's been past this stage.
You can see him there. Just look how confident and comfortable he looks. 5-time Fiwc Grand finalist. He plays for Epsilon, representing Epsilon Esports as well. Also, he was the FIFA Ultimate Team regional champion in Vancouver. So he's been around the block. He's had plenty of experience playing the game. He's one of the oldest players here at the tournament. So
and of course,
expect a big performance from him.
Benz as well. You know, it's maybe his first major land event, but this is where stars are made. This is where the shells come out of the woodwork, you know, over from the European side. The likes of Timon as well.
And this is where a lot of these players, you can see that it's their first major event. So we're going to see stars born.
We are indeed. Of course, there's another game that we will be looking at between Russian number 17 and Lies MTL. Again, he did very well 2015 FIFA Interactive World Cup. He finished 4th in it, but there's lots of games taking place. 8 games per each round, so we'll give you full update on that one. But let's get into this first game. Then it's going to be Guastella versus XX Benz, and it should be a very, very interesting one.
Yeah, it plans to be a very high-fire affair. You can see the formation changes coming in from Guastella. I think he started with the 4-3-2-1, and then he switched to the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. It's very similar. On the other hand, Ben started with a 4-2-2-2. He was playing Ronaldo at CDM, Pogba at striker, all for chemistry. If you're new to Ultimate Team and you don't know how it works, each player can get a maximum of 10 chemistry, given the players who are linking to him and also his position. So you're going to see players played out of position from the get-go, and then as soon as the game starts, formation change, and then we're away. Away to the races.
If you have just joined the stream, it is XX Benz kicking in that Canadian strip, I'm presuming it is from right to left, and it is Guastella. You could say the oldest player at this event. How many more years has he got in him before a FIFA player retires, you could say. He'll be looking to continue his success this year. He was at the big grand final in Berlin. He didn't do enough there, but he won.
Underperformed?
Maybe, but you know, Europe is a very strong league, or league of players. You know,
strong continent.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know, there's a lot of unfinished business for these America's players to go and do. FIFA, you know, he still wants to go and prove. You know what, I am part of that best. There's a reason why I qualified from Berlin, and there's a reason I didn't have to come to this event, and it's going to be an interesting one. Yeah,
he already proved himself against the European players, and I think that's what Guastella will be aiming to do. Probably one of the bookies' favourites, the betting favourites coming into the tournament. But
if you're a 5 times FIFA Interactive World Cup Grand Final, there's a reason for that. You've got to be playing at a high level. You've got to be testing yourself against the best, and that's something that he's done time and time again. He signed with Epsilon earlier this year. So Epsilon, he must have been looking around for a club, or an esports organisation, sorry. He could join a club in the future. You never know, the MLS could come involved.
We see football teams, football clubs getting involved each and every day, it seems like. PSG, Schalke, Wolfsburg, Manchester City, all big players in FIFA. And how much more before we see, we've got the virtual Bundesliga, the virtual Eredivisie, before we see a virtual MLS, a virtual Premier League.
I don't think it's going to be too long indeed, maybe a few years. It's just a case of when one joins, they all follow, and hopefully that can be the case all around the world. In esports, FIFA will just continue to grow and grow, make massive stride forwards. We've seen that FIFA 18, the E3 releases that. There's going to be icons next year. There's going to be more tournaments. There's going to be the Club World Cups.
It's just going to get bigger and bigger. What you need to remember is this is the first year for FIFA that they've done anything on this level. And look how it's
a chance now for XX Benz. Maybe just a finesse with Neymar, and pretty simple. Your usual goal you can score. I don't think Neymar's going to be missing any of them chances. The 97 Neymar, I believe it is, and Guastella not happy there. Maybe it's just hit him thinking, right, this wasn't too easy.
Maybe he's playing someone against him who maybe he's not really played against before. He's might have undervalued them as an opponent, but XX Benz come out, he said, you know what, I'm just as good as you. I might not have had the experience, I might not have got the trophies on the trophy cabinet at home, but I'm just as good as at FIFA as that I'm at you. And Ronaldo are going to try and make it 2 here for Benz.
I think same with Pele. I think he's going to be playing at centre midfielder. An often thing we normally see. It's a case of, I've got so many good players, I want to fit them all in my squad somehow. I need to try and fit them all in.
And also with the legends in use, Pele, it gets a chemistry link to every single player in the squad, so it enables you to mix it up a little bit. You see Ramos and David Luiz playing next to each other at centre-back together, Courtois in goal. It's all about getting the players in, but also getting the chemistry needed.
It's important to remember that it is a case of you lock in You know, you lock in that team, and then you can change a few things around. We often see it Ronaldo maybe going to strike instead of left wing. You know, he played at that left wing position because he gets a 9 chem rather than a 7. Here's a chance now, a lovely long ball over the top for Benz, and what's going on there? He's a bit of a mash-up at the back there. And
that could have been a disaster for Guastella if that ball would have bounced.
It reminds me a little bit like Courtois in a Doha Qatar. He was a bit dodgy there.
Yeah, you can make a rhyme any time. Courtois in Qatar. Yeah, a lot of players did use Belgium, and it was very, very suspicious. Some of the goalkeeping mistakes that Courtois did make over at the rest of the world qualifiers.
Here's Ronaldo now for Benz. Remember, he is 1-0 up already. That's Kante linking in, something that Kante can do ever so well. He's so energetic. He's back and forth, can create chances, be that man to cut out the chances. And I think that is, you know, that 92 card that everyone seems to go to. Yeah,
what a card Kante is. He's had a fantastic second season in the Premier League, this time with Chelsea, and 92 rated. He got the Player of the Year card, the purple SBC card, and then they released his Team of the Season card, which you could buy off the market. And what a card he is. Every stat, I think, above 85. Very, very well-rounded in all his stats. 99 aggression, interceptions, very high composure as well, so it enables him to... it's a stat that's quite undervalued, that composure.
And if Benz wins this is going to be an upset for a lot of people. Everyone will be thinking Guastella, because he's probably got quite a lot of fans in America. But the Canadian, you know, Benzi could go and do a job here, and if he does, and that's just making a mark. You say upsets do happen in the groups, but you need to start your groups well. It's no good starting at game 3 and 4 playing at your best level. 3 points from the beginning is huge. 3
points is huge, as you said. Spider-Con last round, he picked up the 3 points, and you heard him in the interview. He's confident going into this next round. He said he wants to keep tranquil. Every game's going to be a final. You might be able to hear a little bit of action coming down from the pitch. You've got to remember there's 6 other games taking place.
6 other games. We'll be giving you half-time and full-time updates on them from all around the groups that are in action. In this one, our 2 feature games, there is just a lot going on in here. And in this one, it is 1-0 to the Canadian. And here comes Pele now, that centre mid, or the striker into centre midfield, but it's a little bit different than you normally used to seeing.
Yeah, and Benz, it's been a good start for him. He got the early goal, broke the deadlock, and he's just been quite composed. It looks like he might be playing on defensive. Team of the Year, Marcelo there, just tracking Ronaldo, keeping him calm. Ruud Gullit in midfield. You're going to see a lot more Ruud Gullit over the next 2 days. One of the most used and one of the best legends in FIFA.
Most definitely. George Best, he went a little bit quiet. Everyone used to use him for a bit, and I think where new cards came out, it was a case of, right, I don't need to use him anymore. I can use a Ronaldo that's in a better form, but it's still there. Just a little bit heavy touch there from Ronaldo.
Well, a player that a lot of people will use, Ousmane Dembele, that Team of the Season card. He's
#TAS,
eligible for this tournament. We saw #TAS tournament in Ajax. He beat Vitality Rocky in the semi-final, and Ousmane Dembele scored 4 goals.
He did indeed. We have had a goal in the other game, and it has gone to Lies. It was a lovely finish from the Canadian. Ronaldo into Messi, and as easy as you like, there's 1-0, and that is over in the PlayStation Group 2.
Textbook FIFA there. Ronaldo into Messi, finesse shot past the goalkeeper. It's about as easy as it comes, really, and Lies, he will be a favourite in that PlayStation 4 side.
He will be finished 4th in 2015 in the FIFA Interactive World Cup. I think that was one was in Munich. That was the Saudi Arabian that won that one?
I think it was.
Abdulaziz Al-Shiri, I think I've pronounced that right. I'm sure the Twitch chat will let me know if I haven't, but here we go. Here's Benz now. Ronaldo maybe going to cut back into Pogba. Goes for the low driven. No, he's not. Sergio Ramos will be there, but Gullit just tries to throw a leg at it. And there goes the half-time whistle at 1-0 to Benz. You know, I'm sure he may have come into this thinking it's going to be a lot harder of a task than it has been so far.
Yeah, and we're seeing a couple of changes come out from Guastella, I think that is. I think it's Suarez coming on at striker potentially. So, and we just had a quick look at his bench there. 90 rated Son, Neymar, Ousmane Dembele. He's got a stacked bench, no bronze benching from Guastella in this first round fixture on the Xbox.
I'm sure I don't need to say enough about Heung-min on that card. Everyone seems to love him. Everyone seems to say that is your go-to card on Ultimate Team.
What a card he is. 94 pace, 95 shooting, 90 rated, 5-star weak foot. It's pretty much the perfect card. And
a lot of these pros can play him everywhere.
Striker, left wing, left forward, centre attacking mid, centre mid. I've seen people use him. A lot of the pros say he's the best player on the game.
Of course, there's been loads of other games happening in the pitch. So let's head over to Jump to see what's going on.
What's up, guys? Again, back here from the pitch, all of the actions coming through, and something that you actually don't get to see on as much is just because they're not on stage doesn't mean that they're not keeping the level of intensity. You can see the excitement behind me, just making sure that they're doing anything and everything they can to keep things up and to start things off strong. There's a long grind ahead of them. So anything and everything that they can do to do that is going to help them. You can see that we've got Group 2 and Group 4 playing right now. Lucas Rep definitely going to have to keep things around. You saw him on your screen just a little bit earlier. So we're going to make sure that we keep you guys updated along the way. Lots of games left to be played, lots of action left to be seen. But for that, we're going to kick it back to the guys to get back to the second half.
Thank you very much, Jump. And just saw there, Epsilon Joey, 4-0 against Roma Amman.
I've got a little bit of caster insight. I think when Roma Amman arrived at the hotel last night, they played a couple of practice games against each other. Maybe that could be the deciding factor in that one. 4-0 at half-time. Unbelievable scoreline, and Epsilon Joey keep an eye on him throughout the tournament.
Let's jump back into the feature game on the street. GUASTELLA up against Benz, the American versus Canadian. At the moment, it is 1-0, you could say, to the underdog in this team, but there's a reason why he's here, because he's playing at this level. We are underway. And remember, this game is long but over yet.
Yeah, you see Laurent Blanc there used from GUASTELLA at the back. See a couple of changes. Lionel Messi coming on for Benz, so he's not happy
Interesting
with
to see where he's playing, because Pele was playing in centre midfield, I believe.
I think he might be playing at centre attacking mid. I think he might have moved Messi into centre attacking mid just behind Neymar and Ronaldo. I think that is up front. So clearly not happy with only being 1-0 up at half-time, making an attacking change. Sometimes you see people go to a 5 at the back, but Ajax Danny springs to mind.
Yeah, one thing we like is changes. You know, if you don't make a change, nothing's going to change.
It shows that you're constantly thinking about what you're going to do next, and it shows real insight to make a change when you are winning, especially.
And the question is, it depends if you're playing with, oh, it's going to be a chance now. Ronaldo there, just nearly another day, could have just pushed off Marcelo half turn. That would have been on his right foot. That could have been 2-0 there. But you know, the superstition about the bronze bench. What do you make of that?
I think a few players do enjoy the bronze bench. I'm not really sure. I think for me, substitutes are more important than the bronze bench. I think the amount of times you see a late substitute change a game, whether it's Dembele, Aubameyang, the team of the season variants, a legend in Pele or George Best, Neymar, Suarez, whoever it might be, them sort of players at the level that they are, given they can use any card on the game, can make a difference instead of 50 rated Watkins.
Maybe indeed. Here comes Ronaldo now for GUASTELLA, and Valencia there with the block. And what a block that was. Here comes the corner though. Messi will be standing over it for GUASTELLA. Going to play short into Paul Pogba now. Just trying to use the skill dribble in full force, which he does. Messi's going to get rid of this one. Maybe low driven across the box, and that will go out for a corner.
GUASTELLA, a little bit of early pressure at the start of the second half. Marcelo using the close control, the L2R2 dribbling. And
he will win another corner again, but I think there was I'll talk about it in a minute after this corner comes in. Here comes Marcelo now. Just trying to jockey. It's working every time for him. Messi now for GUASTELLA. Plays back to Sergio Ramos. Half turn there. Maybe Hullet on another day could have seen that one. But what I wanted to talk about, players were saying yesterday, oh, my 99 Ronaldo, I don't prefer him to the 98. And I think one of the players was like, are you using a bronze bench? Yeah, that's because of that. But that's your superstition for you. Everyone has their own little factors behind it.
Yeah, superstition. And but you think as well, these players might play thousands of games with a certain card. It's very hard to when it's working for them, when they're finishing top 100, weekend win, weekend out. Why change it when you come to an event like this?
Why change a winning
format?
Yeah, winning format, exactly. But after this game, everyone would have played one game in each respective group, so we can probably give you a standings on that at the end of this game. But at the moment, it is Benz. It is 1-0 up in this one, as you know, over the road as well. And the other game on the PlayStation side lies 2-0 up against Russia number 17. That's a man that wants to get back to that grand final, because he finished 4th in 2015, missed out in 2016, wants a taste now, wants to get back into London, because, okay, it's a grand final, but it's a trip to London. Yeah,
and FUT Champions, it's really brought a lot of people into the game. A lot of people, this might be their first year of FIFA. For him, he's an experienced veteran, similar to GUASTELLA, but you see so many people this year has been their first real FIFA for competitive. Shell springs to mind perfectly. We're going to see a couple of changes here come out from GUASTELLA. GUASTELLA on the left-hand side of the screen, not currently on stream. He's brought on Kante at CDM, Hullet at right centre mid. He's brought on Heung-min Son as well at right centre mid.
If you're Benz right now, you know, you're not far away from an upset. Do you play a bit more defensive now? It's 20 minutes in game time. That's still a very, very long time to play.
you can see the bench there. Sanchez, Hazard, Lacazette, Ibra, all attacking subs.
No, that's the issue that some players have, though.
Just
defenders are going to get tired. And then, on the other hand, Guastella, he can bring on fresh players up top. It counteracts both players. Benz could bring on fresh players up top. As you can see, player instruction, stay back, stay back, stay back, because I want to defend this lead. I want to make an upset, and I want to, put my name in this group saying, you know what, I deserve to be here, and I want to get to London.
I'm just as good as everybody else is, just because I might have not had the experience of previous FIFA events. I'm just as good at the game as what everybody else is, so why do I not deserve to be here?
As you've seen there, just a little tackle maybe to frustrate Guastella, but in a dangerous area. That ball could get whipped in now from Hullet, and there could be a big Ronaldo in there just to flick it on. Suarez could be in there as well, but here comes Hullet now. Messi of all people. I don't think he's going to be winning the header anytime soon. Falls that into the box. That Heung-min Son!
Just panicked there, I think. Benz clearing the ball. He rushed his clearance, fell to Heung-min Son on the edge of the box, and I think Guastella and everybody watching at home was expecting that to
another
just
day. That one just nestled into the top-hand corner, as you said, and it was a great chance for him, probably the best chance he's going to get for a long time now. But as long as Benz has got the ball, Guastella can't do anything.
He's comfortable.
But keep it in the right areas. At least keep it in his half. Don't give possession away in the wrong areas. Don't risk a pass. Make sure every pass has a purpose behind it. And try and defend. Just defend, defend, defend. You're better. I think as a very easy and common quote goes, what's your opponent causing you if they haven't got the ball? It's pretty simple as that.
Well, how did Spain and Barcelona win so many trophies back-to-back? Because they just kept the ball. They didn't let their opponent have the ball.
Here we go. Kante now of all players. I don't know if Vieira can get a goal, but here comes Heung-min Son. There's the low driven, but only into Ronaldo's feet. And that's going to go for a goal kick. Just over 10 minutes in game time left.
Time slowly slipping away from Guastella, but it's early. It's only the first round of fixtures. He's got a long, long road left to go. It's a long,
6 more games.
A long and winding road here at the FIWC American qualifiers, and can't peak too early. I talk about it time and time again. Just as a chance there, nothing comes of it. It's all about peaking at the right time, playing your best FIFA at the most important part of the day, whether that's round 4, round 5, round 6, or if you win your first 3 games, round 1, 2 and 3, you've got 9 points, you can relax.
Could this get worse for him now? Here comes Neymar, just trying to bring out the showboat. He's got Walker and everyone around him. Does well to dodge them. Tries to do an interchange with Messi there, but that one will peter out for a counter-attack that could be quite dangerous. He did get quite a few men forward, but you can just see there he's just changing player, make sure these players are staying back, taking it in turns between the midfielders to press. Not really using the secondary press because he doesn't want to bring any players out of position, which is very understandable. But this is last chance soon now. Can Ronaldo get onto that one? Courtois will dive down, and that will be a corner kick.
Does very, very well there, Courtois, to get down. Kante going to use the close dribble, the skill dribble, try and find a way into that box, but it's very, very congested.
Messi, surely on the finesse, surely if it'll open up there. Big brave tackle there from Marcelo at the back, and this could be a counter-attack now. Here comes Costa, Douglas Costa of all players, not one we see of all time. Got a little bit fortunate there, the rebound. I believe that was Kante.
Looks
Messi.
like he could be in there, Neymar down the line if he decides to use him.
Doesn't indeed, maybe overcomplicates it. Added time of 3 minutes. This is literally last chance, Luna. You're going to be losing your first group game. Big tackle there from Marcelo just to slow down the clock, and he's got a little bit fortunate there.
What a huge statement this is from Benz on the group, showing everybody. If you looked at the group beforehand, he wasn't one of the names who he said he's a favourite. He wasn't. He put everybody on notice.
This is his big stage. This is his time to shine, as some would say. Here we go. Hullet, low driven, and once again, right place, right time. David Luiz, and there we have it. This is what tournament does. This is what the big stages does. They make upsets. They make heroes, and XX Benz has just caused one.
Huge 3 points there for XX Benz in the first round of fixtures over on the Xbox side of action. And Guastella, is that a worrying face from there?
He's a little bit worried now, but he's still got he's got a lot of time to get back into this one. As we saw, there's many games left. Groups of 8, each player plays 7 games. That's only 1 game out of the way. Okay, yes, it's good to start with 3 points under your belt. Doesn't go without saying, does it? But maybe if you can come back now, what didn't work for me? Do I change my formation? Do I maybe use different players? Or just I didn't take my chances?
I think given the context of the game, I can't remember him having that many clear-cut chances. I think Benz, it was quite comfortable.
I think the Heung-min Son was probably the best chance for Guastella in the end.
And that fell in like the 83rd minute, so
a little bit too late.
I think Benz will be looking at this thinking, you know what? I've got a serious opportunity to get out of this group, and if I get through to Saturday, I only need to win 1 game. And I've booked my place in London.
If you have just joined the stream, it is 4 groups of 8 players. Lots of action, of course, taking place from all round, of course, this fantastic studio we are in. And it'll be interesting to see how everyone got on in those games. Yeah,
and let's have a look at the main goal in that game. The only goal scored. It was Ronaldo feeding the ball through to Neymar. Very quite comfortable, really. Neymar finesse shot past the goalkeeper.
One that he would not be missing anytime soon.
Given the fantastic
97 rated.
Neymar is, yeah.
97 rated.
5-star skill, 5-star weak foot. What a card he's got, Neymar, in the game. And time again, we see Neymar, Messi, Suarez used, but it's all about who can utilise that player the best.
And we're hearing that Jump is, with that winner, the underdog. Let's go over and see what he is saying.
Congratulations on the win. It was a very solid 1-0 victory. How's it feel for you to get that first win in the group?
It feels great. I was so nervous during the game, but getting the goal early and I was able to hold through, so it felt pretty good.
Now, you've got some other notable names in the group. You've got Joey, you've got Romaman. What's it like being put up against these players and coming out strong in your first match?
Well, it feels great because, like you said, the strong names, so the expectation on me to win isn't really much. The pressure is more on them than it is to me.
So now, we asked this question in the last interview, but it's something that I definitely have to ask you. This is going to be a long, enduring battle of games that you have coming up. What have you done to kind of prepare yourself mentally for this?
I didn't have much preparation since I got late notified, but basically the 40 games of Foot Champs in every weekend has prepared all of us for this tournament.
Cool. Now, what's it like coming to, Los Angeles? We're here. You get to see all these players. You get to be up on stage. It's not you're comfortable. You're not sitting on your bed and playing FIFA. You're not chilling at a desk. What's it like having that different atmosphere?
Oh, it's much different. And the fact that I'm in LA is great because the weather is great here. So it's a big, different competition. So.
For sure. Now, what do you see as your toughest competition here? There's obviously a lot of different, 32 players total. You're one of many. Who do you feel is going to be one of the toughest opponents that you're going to have in the group stage?
I thought the guy I beat was supposed to be my toughest opponent, and he might well be, but that was, as long as I got that out of the way, I feel comfortable for the rest of them.
Well, hey, you got the toughest one out of the way, but that doesn't mean that there's not a lot more action to be seen, so we're going to throw it over to the desk for the next match.
Thank you very much, Jump.